What's going on, fight fans? Unfortunately, I am very, very late to the party, but better late than never. It's time for some predictions for this upcoming boxing card, with the headliner of it being Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. Not much to be able to talk about pertaining to this boxing card. I mean, the last boxing card that I was able to predict and go in depth and in break in detail with, I was talking about the last crescendo, the rematch between Dimitri Bivol and Artur Beterbiev 2, which was an absolutely outstanding boxing card that it was. This card is not up to that par and is a lot more money. So maybe it's not as worth as it is, uh, in my opinion. Uh, Firestick boys, Stream boys, I know you're there. I know you're watching. I know you're listening. So I know you guys are going to be tuned in, and I definitely am going to be that way. As you've already seen pictured above, you have your boy Jared Hurd, who's going to be going against Johan Gonzalez. I didn't even know that Jared Hurd was still boxing. If I'm being quite honest, being quite fair with you. Last time I heard about him, he lost to another guy that was on his card, Julian Williams. Lost his, what was it, 154-pound junior middleweight belts, and his career was pretty much on a spiral from then. Last time out from I heard, he had a split draw with this guy who he recently just fought. This guy just recently just fought Jesus Alejandro Ramos. Jason Banana Rosario, that's the dude that he fought. They fought to a split draw. So he's still fighting, and this guy Johan Gonzalez, who has a pretty deep boxing record, he got KO'd by Johannes Tellez, who's on this card as well, and also another fellow fighter that knocked out or beat, definitively, uh, Jesus Alejandro Ramos, also KO'd Johan Gonzalez. This is gonna be on the prelims on YouTube TV, so you guys be can tune in on that YouTube. Jared Hurd, this fight is gonna be terrible. I don't know what's gonna happen. But Jared Hurd, he's still fighting, he's still alive somehow, some way, after suffering all those KOs and brain damage that he has. Shout out to him, he's still making his money. I'm not mad about that. But moving on up the card, we have, speaking of fighters who are kind of intertwined and interconnected, we have Johannes Tellez, the Cuban prospect with 9 fights, 7 of them being KOs. He last time fought out, I believe, on the Jake Paul card and had an absolutely tremendous KO on that card. He's going to be going against Julian Williams. He's also still kicking somehow, some way. J Rock. Last time out, he got a TKO victory over a pretty much can. So he's, still a name, a veteran presence to be able to put against Johannes Tellez, who's, again, a young prospect. You got these old veteran uh, type of fighters that is, put up against these prospects that we always seem to see, whether to see if the prospect is actually, up to the task. They're actually what they believe or what the potential is to be in those type of fighters. And they go up against these older, wily vets who think that they still have something left in the tank, but obviously, time has passed and they're pretty much just washed. They're kind of their old selves, but still, they still think that they can be able to kick and go. 100% that's not going to happen. There's not really much to be able to say about this fight. I think Julian Williams is a talented boxer, but I think he's going to get knocked the fuck out by Johannes Tellez. Moving on up the card, we have Alberto Puello versus Sander Martin. Sander Martin has like 40 wins, but like 12 KOs. So he has no power in his hands. He's most known for his fight that he caused a lot of problems in that split decision win for Teofimo Lopez. He's a really good boxer. He's talented. Uh, he has some skill. He's been inactive for about a year and a half. So ring rust is definitely going to be a thing for him. And you have Alberto Puello. Last time out, he actually fought the dude that's going to be fighting on the co-main event, Gary Antwell Russell. Actually won and beat that belt off of him. Got his undefeated record as well. Um, so a tricky customer that he is. He has some losses on his record as well. But, I mean, it is what it is. Most of these fighters do. Kind of crazy how most of these fighters and most of these fights are actually kind of interconnected with these guys. I expect Pueblo to do what he usually does, being the goddamn tricky customer that he is, bringing a lot of problems, actually having some type of skill in boxing. Sander Martin has some skill as well, but I mean, being out for about a year and a half and the best performance that he has was a split loss to Teofimo Lopez. I mean, what do you want me to be able to say about you? And the co-main event is Gary Antoine Russell, the brother, I believe, of Gary Russell Jr., a very, very talented, very athletic, electrifying, and speedster of a brother, against Jose Rayo Valenzuela, who's coming off the performance of his career so far against Isaac Pitbull Cruz, who, it's kind of easy to have that performance against him. Pitbull is a fighter that you can be able to hit and get away with it. You saw that in his last outing when he fought against Angel Fierro, where, it was a damn hell of a fight between these two guys. And Gary Antoine Russell, most of the fights that he's been in, he's knocked out everybody he's been in there with against, obviously Alberto Pueblo, who I was talking about earlier, where he got that victory decision over him, with I believe it was a split decision as well. Um, that last performance that I saw out of Gary Antoine Russell was very, very like rudimentary. Like, it was honestly very disappointing to be able to see that type of performance out of him. I expected a lot more out of him. I mean, maybe with the Russell name and all the KOs and the streak that he was on, and this and that, and the prospect and the potential. But he looked very, very like easy out there. Obviously, the power is something that you definitely have to be able to worry about, because again, he has 16 wins coming by way of knockout. But Jose Rio Valenzuela, he showed me a lot of maturity. He definitely learned from his experiences against Edwin de los Santos, a loss that he has on his record where he definitely got KO'd. So I think he has a lot more layers, a lot more experience, and is a lot more headed in the well direction compared to Gary Antoine Russell, who's probably going to want to get a bounce back, going to want to look very good in his performance, in this performance especially as well, against Jose Valenzuela. Very, very good matchup making, in my opinion, by Al Heyman. I'll give him that credit. But I think Jose Valenzuela, the way that his career is going and the trajectory that he's on, I think that he'll definitely get a victory over Gary Antoine Russell. And maybe it'll be difficult in sometimes, but I think he'll definitely clean sweep and get the victory his way. Now moving to the main event, we have Lamont Roach versus Gervonta Tank Davis. Unfortunately, we're not getting, the big names that we really, really want to be able to see, but we got some big names before out of Gervonta Tank Davis. I'm not going to go throughout his record and say all the knockouts and say this and that about him and what he's done so far. We already know what Gervonta Tank Davis has done, but we want to see more. And we want to see the bigger names, the Devin Haney's, even though he's already got KO'd by Ryan Garcia. Maybe a Ryan Garcia rematch. Maybe a Teofimo Lopez. Maybe, a lot of people saying Shakur Stevenson. You know, bigger names, bigger atmosphere, bigger money to be made. These fights for Gervonta Tank Davis just seems to be like add-on, victories for him in his career. If you want to compare it to maybe like a Canelo or like a Floyd Mayweather, where, yeah, he fought the big names. He's a big draw. Obviously, is one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the fight game right now. But, you know, you fight, Canelo's fought his Jaime Munguias, his Edberg Berlangas, the victories that kind of come off easy than what it usually is compared to, getting in the dog fights and the big name fights that we usually have seen from Gervonta Tank Davis before. But credit where credit is due, Lamont Roach, man, uh, 25 and 1-1, only has 10 KOs, so the power in his hands is not what you think or what you want it to be. I mean, it is what it is. His only defeat that he had was against Jamel Herring, which is, a lot more earlier in his career. He bounced back really well from that. Got on a very big, win streak in his career. They both have the ties to Hector Luis Garcia, where they both defeated him, even though Lamont Roach was a split decision, which was a close victory. But, Tank got him out of there. But Hector Luis Garcia was actually kind of not a problem, but he definitely was there to be able to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. He wasn't in there to be scared or trying to run around the ropes like a Frank Martin. Um, So yeah, they have those type of ties there. Lamont Roach, both being from the same type of area. I think Lamont Roach is from the DC area. We all know Gervonta Tank Davis is from Baltimore, that DMV area. They're all very, very close. They fought each other many, many times in the amateurs. They got some history between each other. Um, I mean, I think Lamont Roach, if he fought Frank Martin, I think he would beat Frank Martin, but I think it would be a close fight. I do think that he's going to do a lot more and perform a lot better than what Frank Martin is going to do. I think he's going to fight a lot more than what Frank Martin is going to do. So I don't think we're going to get like a Frank Martin performance out of Lamont Roach. But he is a very good boxer. He is talented. He has some skill. He's not like. He is a nobody because nobody does know him. Obviously, this is his first big, fight on the main stage. But he's not like somebody that you're gonna be scared of. He's skilled, he's talented, he's already had a loss on his record, so he already has tasted the defeat. He doesn't want to taste that again. It is, I believe, for a belt. But all in all, the story kind of goes where it always kind of ends up. Gervonta Tank Davis is a smooth operator, as smooth as they come, and he's gonna knock the fuck out of Lamont Roach per usual, how it always ends, how it always goes. I do expect a good performance out of Lamont Roach. The only way I think Lamont Roach actually does defeat Gervonta Tank Davis is maybe if he does catch him with something early in the fight that kind of stings him, maybe not put him down. I don't think Tanks has ever been down. He has a great chin for that division. That'd be the 135 division. Um, so maybe if he catches with him with something early and he just outboxes the shit out of him the entire fight, which I really don't see, and Tank doesn't throw his hands at all. I mean, he doesn't really throw his hands that much. He's very economical with his punches. IQ is on another level. I'll give him that. While he's making his region, trying to be able to counterpunch effectively throughout the entire fight. Um, but I think Tank is going to actually throw more. I think there's going to be moments where there's going to be exchanges. I think there's going to be a moment where it's going to be kind of like a firefight. I think we're going to get not your money's worth because this is definitely not $80 worth of a pay per view, but maybe, if you pay for it, I guess it can be kind of worth for it. But yeah, we're going to get what we usually always get with Gervonta Tank Davis. That is violence, that is knockouts, that is highlight KOs, victory. And hopefully, after this is said and done, we can get into bigger names and bigger fights and bigger things for the career of Gervonta Tank Davis. But this should be, you know, kind of by the book, rudimentary thing. And hopefully we get this done and over with. And thankfully, I got this video done and over with. Those are my prediction videos for the Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach card. Not much to be able to really say. I mean, the co-main event is actually pretty entertaining. You have veterans such as like Jared Hurd and Julian Williams, who I honestly thought were off the face of this planet of the earth by now, but they're still kicking and still going. Yoenis Tellez more than likely is going to get a highlight reel KO. Albert Puello and Sandor Martin, maybe it'd be a good, technical whatever boxing fight, but I don't expect much out of that. We're just kind of looking for the highlight KO for Gervonta Davis and his career to move on forward. Thank you guys again for watching this video. Like this video if you obviously like the video, duh. Comment your opinion on what do you think is going to happen on this card. Obviously, the fight is going to happen today. But again, these are prediction videos. What do you think is going to happen? Let me know. And subscribe, Boxing Fans. Boxing Fans, I'm here throughout this entire year. You know I got you. I got you, baby. Certified all day, all throughout the year. I've been here, and you're here as well. So you might as well get a subscribe on and continue on this journey with me. Thank you guys again for watching again, and peace.